example she gave, in fact, whilst I was driving here, that was the thought that came to me, to talk about children or people with additional needs who are highly functional. There are people, in fact, every one of us, we are somewhere on the spectrum. All of us, we all have certain behaviors that if we put a psychologist here to analyze you now, they will pick you somewhere on the spectrum. Just that some people have it in a certain extent that it impacts their daily functioning. There are some of you, certain bottles have to be in the same place in your house. If somebody moves a pillow from somewhere, you are disorganized. All those, they are traits of autism. Autistic tendencies. Yeah, that's what they call it. Autistic. Yeah. There are certain people, everything has to be clean. The people in the mental health side will tell you that those are features of that. Just that you are functioning in a certain way. So when there are children who are autistic, but when we as parents create an enabling environment for them, they become very functional. Why is it that when somebody is blind in Africa, or somebody is crippled in Africa, that's the end of them? Somebody is crippled here, they own business. What made the difference? What made the difference is the environment. So the environment you will create for your child at home is that there's going to be no domestic violence. Is that you're going to be, and the reason why I use swimming lessons is that how many of us children go swimming lessons or play certain instruments or play certain swimming lessons? Well done. Football? Well done. Musical instruments at school? Gymnastics? How many? All those things, they have a way of contributing to that child's overall development. So the sports, your child might not necessarily be good, but the fact that he's playing within a team, he's developing team skills. When you go to work, that is the skill you need. So you can be a very highly educated person, but socially, you are not functioning because you didn't develop team skills. So that child going to that football, learning team skills, that child going swimming lesson, when they are able to move from stage 1 to stage 2, it's an achievement psychologically. It's telling that child that whatever I put myself to do, I can achieve. Because we have to be total people. Church people, we like Mado, Chateau, Barreau. We are good at that. And then when it comes to other aspects of our lives, we are lacking. But we need to be rounded people. Now I'll move, and these bits that I talked about, do you know why? When black and ethnic minority children, when they come into foster care, they want to stay there. Do you know why? Do you know why they want to stay? The only thing they miss about us is the food. That's the only thing they miss. They will say, I didn't get your love to eat. I didn't get watching to eat. That's the only thing they miss about us. The white foster carers, they are taking them to activities. They are taking them to, I'm not saying a child coming into care is good. It's not good at all. Not a good experience in any shape or form. We know as a state, we know as corporate parents, we can't do it the way you parents do it. We know that. We only intervene when we have to safeguard the children. But when black and ethnic minority children come into care, they don't want to go back home. Because they come and experience a different type of parenting. The foster carer will put that child in the car and take them to activities. When that child was home, I remember I went to observe a contact between the parents, and these were Ugandans, 2 boys from Uganda and their parents. And when I went, it was interesting for me because the parents were wearing designer shoes and things, and then they had come in with a Nike school bag. And then one of the elders, I think it was 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. The 8-year-old said, oh, who's this bag for? And then mom said, oh, it's for you. Then the 10-year-old said, for us? But when we were home, we asked for these things. You said you never had money. That was what the child said. When we were home and we said we wanted these things, you said you never had money. Now, this same child, if he had asked the foster carer for that Nike school bag, yes, obviously the foster carer gets paid for the job they are doing, so they will buy it for them. But the point I'm trying to make is that let's invest in our children. Investment is not only money, time, relationship. What is it that will get you? This bit is not to work, but I was listening to a preacher who said, think about it this way. What is it that when your child gets to this age, he will still want to follow you to come here? Why is he following you to come? Some of you, your children, when they get to this age, they don't even want to live in your house. Have we asked ourselves why? It's the relationship you had with them as they were growing. That's why the white children, when they turn 16, 17, 18, they're looking for council property to go. Because when they lived with you from childhood to that 16, 18, you made life a hell for them. Amen?
Amen.
I hope I will fulfill you.
It's okay.
The last one I will say and then I will stop. How many of us as family members or friends who have come into the country with COS? COS. Do you all know COS? Care visa. Who has friends, families with care visas? Care visa. I'm going to say some of you will shoot me depending on your experience. COS is a blessing. You see, you are laughing because the experience your friend or your family has had with that doesn't tally with the words I've just used now, isn't it? Okay. Now let's backtrack. In this country, we have something we call immigrational routes. Those who came from Europe, you came with your passports. And then when you came, your immigrational route was that because you're a member of the EU, you are in. That was your immigrational route. Some of us who came from Ghana, we might have come as students. That was our immigrational route. COS is just one of the immigrational routes. We all know that at some point in this country, the only way to legalize yourself, if you didn't come from Europe and other places, is to marry someone. When I say marry someone, I hope you understand what I'm saying. You marry someone, and then you marry someone, and then you are in. Or you give birth, and somebody, I won't say it because there are legal things, and you don't know where some of these things will go, so I won't say it to open things up. But you give birth, somebody, and then you are in. Do you know COS is even a much better route than when somebody signs for your child? Do you know? If you are a parent with a child who has a document, that's why you are here. You're on a 10-year route to indefinite leave to remain, isn't it? When you come in with COS, within 5 to 6 years, you will have indefinite leave to remain. But what you need to know is, this route I have come on, what are the processes in this route? Yeah? The care person that brought you that didn't give you work, that's why you are angry with them, they need to be your best friend. Yes. The analogy is this. When you do marriage paper with someone, even if you don't like that person, you know that in 5 years' time, you will need that person something to go and do something, isn't it? So what do? You tolerate them. I'm not begging or giving excuses for the employers who have brought people in and haven't given them jobs. I'm not begging for them. And actually, if you get very close to them and you ask them, they are not supposed to take their money, I get it. But most of these companies that have brought you in, they are African companies, aren't they? They are just small businesses that are cropping up. So they have got no roots. If you come and you are lucky and you get into a care company, the care companies here, they are established companies, the care homes. There will never be a time that you'll not be working within a care home. You always have work. These African agencies, they are just starting. For all you know, you only just even had one contract with the local authority. And then you was able to register COS and they brought you in. When you came, somebody within the African community hasn't done their job well. So that person has lost, the employer has lost their contract. When they lose their contract, all of you within that employment, you are all done. So can you see why I'm not begging for them? That employer themselves will not go and do, if you open a business, will you go and do something to spoil it? You won't. But you sent a care staff to go and look after an elderly person. They didn't even make sure the person has eaten, the person has this, the person has that. The family members go and report to social services. Social services then report your company to CQC, something QQQ. QQQ comes and they take the license. The moment they they take the license, that employer has no work. They are not legal again. So if they brought you in, you are in trouble. Yeah? And the other bit that I really empathize with them is this. Because they are small businesses and they are springing up, some of the money they take from you guys is what they are using to boost their company. Because sometimes they've even done, me myself, last week, I had to give my friend money to pay her staff. So the COS terrain is a very complicated one. If you don't know it, you think, oh, this person hasn't treated me well. But the message I want to tell you is this. If you or a family member comes in on COS, what you need to know is it's a legal route. What are the requirements? So that come 5 years' time, I won't be stuck and I'll be able to renew my visa. That is what you need to know. If your member came in as a dependent, that dependent, they need the main applicant. It's similar to if you do our RAE with somebody. If you do our RAE with somebody, you and the person's address are always the same, isn't it? Why are you coming in as a dependent and not knowing where your main applicant is? Because in 5 years' time, when or 5 or 3, when your visa ends and you're going to renew, you will need that COS employer who also brought you. Now, this is the trick. That brought you and they haven't given you job. What you need to be saying to them is that, Silver, I know because whilst we're in this country, if anything happens, or the visa, Nintin our who are dependent, our applicants Nintin our. So when the applicants Nintin make a physical report in a move, so because I'm Nintin as much as here, and then when I say crack a reflecting. So when the Nintin